All right, hey guys, and I'm going to be reviewing 5P22, which is under the standard 5P2, and we are comparing the weight of an object of the sum of the weight of its parts before and after an interaction. And so this is my little helper here, some robot, and we are going to have interaction, and that's something that you can be creative with your students of describing what happens, maybe a photon blast, maybe a accident with another autonomous driving robot car or something. And so describe whatever interaction the students want to come up with. We're going to be using the That's Some Robot sheet from PowerSchool, from the 5P23 files and the resources for PowerSchool for the standard 5P2. And so in the worksheet, you guys will see, and we'll actually have you kind of take a look at that when we're doing this with you. You'll see that the students will draw their robot after they receive a bag of materials, which are the blocks, and they're going to go ahead and draw what robot they want to create. And this is the robot I created. And in the sheet that says describe the qualities of the robot. So we're really looking for them to describe those physical properties of the robot. So the color, describing the shapes of the blocks that are used, maybe to describe the overall design of the robot, and maybe speak of the shininess of the cubes. So those are some of the descriptions that we're looking for. We're looking for them to kind of have an eye that is looking for the details and looking for those properties. We're also going to ask you to measure the height. The students will measure the height and weight. We're using a ruler. And describing how many cubes were used. This may be something that you want to keep standard for all your students, that you have the same amount of cubes for all of your students. I have 18 cubes with this one, if I'm correct. And the next piece is you're going to be removing both the arms and legs and the torso. And I already measured the whole weight of the robot, and that was 2.5, and we're rounding up to the 10th. And then I separated the legs, the torso, and the arms. However you decide to separate the legs, that's up to you. It's just based, just make sure you keep that consistent with all of your students of what they're looking at. They are going to come up with a lot of different shapes, but this is something you can have a little conversation with them about of where you're doing the separating. I did include the head on the torso, so that will be the weight. So then I separated, then I weighed these all together as different parts, as separate parts, the arms, the torso, and the legs. I'm doing this quickly. You'll want to wait a little bit because it is even the air flowing over this scale will affect it. And so once I measured all three parts, I combined those, and it did equal the sum of the parts of the sum robot. So that is working on our standard 5P2, comparing the weight of the objects to the sum of the weight of its parts before and after an interaction. Again, they can be pretty creative when it comes to the discussing or coming up with the interaction. And make sure that you're having them predict too before you actually combine all those different parts together, if it is going to equal the same. We'll just have a discussion on why you might have some different numbers. We have seen some things change and some things you need to make sure you're ready for, but we'll have a text conversation about that. Thanks.